Once the most powerful man in the world, now a private citizen. As he exits the Oval Office, George W. Bush leaves behind 2 unfinished wars and an economy mired in recession. There is a saying that all politics ends in failure, but critics insist W takes the cake.
In all probability, he will go down as the worst president in the history of the United States, somebody who squandered opportunities, who was amazingly reckless, and who shamelessly fronted for special interests and totally abandoned his obligation to the American people and to the people of the world.
But his supporters, Bush included, say history will look upon him favorably.
That no leader has ever been appreciated in their time. It's only after time when a full and fair assessment can be made of not only their accomplishments, but their failures. When you're living in the moment, it's hard to justify tough decisions that maybe were not popular at the time they were made, but necessary.
Most analysts agree his presidency was forged in the terrorist attacks of September 11, 2001. His approval ratings leapt from 50% to greater than 85%.
I can hear you, the rest of the world hears you, and the people who knocked these buildings down will hear all of us soon.
Within weeks, American troops were fighting in Afghanistan to oust the Taliban. Then George W. Bush set his sights on some unfinished business.
If Saddam Hussein does not fully disarm, for the safety of our people and for the peace of the world, we will lead a coalition to disarm him.
The US flexed its military muscle, and within weeks, Saddam had been deposed, and Bush declared victory.
Major combat operations in Iraq have ended. In the Battle of Iraq, the United States and our allies have prevailed.
But Bush was heavily criticized. The country became embroiled in all but civil war. Weapons of mass destruction were never found, and accounts emerged of American soldiers abusing and torturing prisoners. Bush flew to Baghdad last month, hoping to showcase security gains there, and found himself on the receiving end of criticism of a different kind. Then there were the perceived failures of the relief to Hurricane Katrina, which devastated New Orleans, inflicting an estimated $89.6 billion in damage.
Don't tell me the federal response was slow when there was 30,000 people pulled off roofs.
In his final year in office, Bush faced a once-in-a-century financial crisis, the worst since the Great Depression.
And as President Obama takes office, he will face an enormous budget deficit that was bequeathed to him by the Bush administration. So I think in domestic terms, it's very difficult to find anything positive to say about the Bush legacy.
But the 43rd President of the United States says he is satisfied with his achievements. Mr. Bush says he will now write his memoirs, but how he is to be written in history's page is anyone's guess.